against us, they hate our souls. They hate us, they hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Peace and blessings to everybody joining. We got to get right into this one. So Candace Owens just gave out a fervent warning about the possibility of her being assassinated by the Macrons in the French government. Now, I'm going to go to the news, and I definitely have to chime in on this one because I was one of the first putting out the message to Candace Owens that she needs to get out before it's too late. But we'll get into that.
Theorist Candace Owens believes commentator and conspiracy theorist Candace Owens believes French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron are plotting to assassinate her, according to an outlandish, lengthy tweet she fired off over the weekend. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination, she wrote on November 22nd. In the post, Owens went on to claim she was told formalized assassination plans were greenlit to be executed by a team in the elite French Special Ops Unit, National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, while making sure to specify that there was one Israeli among the alleged assassination squad. She also warned in the post that the supposed assassination plot also endangers French independent journalist Xavier Poussard, who has also vehemently peddled conspiracy theories about the gender and sexuality of Brigitte Macron. Owens later posted that she has evidence to support her claims, including names and international accounts through which money was exchanged, and that she has informed the federal government and the White House of what she called the French and Israeli assassination plot. In her initial post, she also claimed that Charlie Kirk's assassin was allegedly connected to the French government, saying she was told he had trained with a French brigade, which she wrote was not a coincidence in a later post. And while many of the comments went on to call the lengthy tirade bat crazy or a psychiatric breakdown in real time, Telegram founder Pavel Durov chimed in on Owens' allegations of France's involvement in Kirk's death, calling them entirely plausible. Durov cited the Turning Point USA founder's previous comments about Macron's France, specifically referencing an occasion in which Kirk called for the country to drop charges against him or face 300% tariffs from the US. Durov was arrested in France in August of 2024 over several alleged organized crime offenses, as well as failing to combat the dissemination of criminal content on the messaging app. He was under strict travel supervision from the country until it was lifted earlier this month. Owens' slew of allegations comes amid a lengthy feud between the conspiracy theorist and the French president and first lady.
Now, Candace Owens was the first one to put that demo out that Britt Macron is a man. And is it plausible that Candace Owens is in line to be the next blood sacrifice? Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the reason why I made the fervent warning for Candace Owens to get out is because no matter how she blows the trumpet and who she alerts, when these people are coming to get you, there's nothing that can stop it. Now, she said a lot of things, right? She's been putting out a lot of information, but I'm going to just put this out here. Candace Owens is also a double agent. Candace Owens is controlled opposition. Candace Owens has her hands in white supremacy. She fought for white supremacy. She has been a pretty much a Sambo soldier. And now things are backfiring. They're backfiring on Candace Owens. And I do truly believe that she's terrified. And she has survived for very much a long length in what she's been doing. Right? And she's been playing both sides. And this is why I put out the first did about Candace Owens needs to get out. She pretty much used Charlie Kirk's death to line her pocket. She made it a murder mystery. At the same time, she was putting out some truth in regards to some of what took place. And what we got to understand is she's no longer just a content creator. She's a very strong voice with a lot of influence. So let's continue here. Let's continue.
The couple has been afflicted for years since Emmanuel Macron's presidential win in 2017 by unsubstantiated conspiracy theories being spread online, most notably by Owens, claiming Brigitte is a transgender woman who was initially born a man named Jean-Michel Trogneux, which is the name of Brigitte's brother. After she was slapped with a defamation lawsuit by the Macrons in July, Owens doubled down on her comments about the French First Lady.
I believe they lost that defamation lawsuit too, which is somewhat of a red flag. And if I'm being totally honest with you, Britt Macron, it's something about them hands. It's something about them long ass arms. It's something about that jawline that I think what Candace Owens saying is very much possible that there may be a man, y'all. I'm telling you. And the Macrons are definitely very much evil. Very much evil. But let's get into it.
We're born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample.
Now, you got to understand that this is part of breaking the oath, what Candace Owens is doing, because if y'all remember a lady by the name of Joan Rivers, yes, Joan Rivers was talking about Michelle Obama, who Barack Obama on many occasions called Michael publicly. I don't know how you call your wife Michael by accident, but nonetheless, you know, it's something about the physiology of certain people in Hollywood. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all right now, allegedly, a lot of Hollywood actresses, actors are transgender. You know, a lot of these people, they say that Jennifer Aniston was born a male. You know, I think, what is it? Courtney Love, they say born a man, you know, transgender into a female. This is what goes on in these networks. They like that reversal stuff, man. So for Candace Owens to be saying this, she would not be the first person to get taken out and blood sacrificed. And the reason I'm calling it a blood sacrifice is because Candace is in the she is in the hierarchy. She is in the Masonic hierarchy. So she is going against the grain. All right. Now let's continue.
I'll send my doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine.
Now, I'm going to tell you why they do this without interrupting or being long-winded. It's all Satanism within the industry, and that goes for the royal families as well. You know, listen, in order to make it to those levels of success, they make it so you either have to blood sacrifice your child or you have to raise them as the opposite sex. I mean, just look at the patterns, y'all. Y'all see it all through Hollywood. You see it with Dwayne Wade, what he did with his son. You see it with the Smith family, how they did the gender reversal with their children. Because they get to a point, they don't want to take their children out. They just can't do it like, what's next? You got to raise them transgender. That's what happens. And they get in these high positions, and to fool the public, making it think it's one gender when it's not, is part of the sorcery. Right? Anyway, let's continue. Let's go back just a little bit and we'll go.
First Lady.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine.
In January, Owens ran an 8-part podcast series in which she made the wild claims about the couple, who met when Brigitte was the future French leader's school teacher in 1993. She was 39 and he was 15.
Now, even that alone, she was 39, he was 15. How is that not grooming? How is this? How does this even make any sense? This is the school teacher who grew up and married this 15-year-old student once he grew up, and now they are the royal family. See, let me tell you something, man. Candace Owens speaking in regards to this shows you just how satanic these people really are. And she's ruffling some feathers and she's stirring the hornet's nest. You know, that's why, look, I warned you, Candace, to get out. I don't know how this is going to end for, prayerfully she gets out of the loop for a while, takes whatever money she earned through Turning Point USA, which is falling apart right now, by the way. Turning Point USA is falling completely apart. But I would suggest that Candace Owens take whatever she earned and just disappear and stop the things she's doing. Because although she warned the feds, she warned the White House, all of the royal families are plugged in. They're all plugged in.
The point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood, Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine.
In January, Owens ran an 8-part podcast series in which she made the wild claims about the couple, who met when Brigitte was the future French leader's school teacher in 1993. She was 39 and he was 15 at the time. I believe that Emmanuel Macron is a homosexual man that was groomed from his youth, Owens said in one of the episodes. I believe the individual who groomed him is now his wife. I believe his wife was born Jean-Michel Trogneux and transitioned in his early 30s, and I believe that the entire state is colluding to protect that secret, she said. Owens is no stranger to controversy. She has repeatedly courted outrage with anti-Semitic remarks, minimizing Hitler's ambitions, as well as defending Kanye West's social media posts. She has also amplified a grab bag of conspiracy theories, such as questioning the moon landing and promoting COVID-19 vaccine misinformation.
Now, before we just dismiss this, before we believe that this is far-fetched, I want to go to another source here to kind of, start to kind of weave this together. Could she be the next blood sacrifice? Was it an intelligent move for her to warn? Let's see. Or is it more conspiracy? Let's check it out.
You guys, Candace Owens just posted that someone's trying to kill her. And not just anybody, the Macrons and the entire French government. She says, 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. What the hell is going on? She also
All right, I don't know why.
States, further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. But it gets even weirder. You guys, a year before, to the date, someone actually made threats to kill Candace and her family, according to the New Jersey District Courts. And this person was identified as Haim Braverman, and then a year later, Charlie Kirk dies. Coincidence? Let's keep going. I mean, it is kind of weird. If you Google French intelligence agents or assassins, you get stuff like this. French ex-spy suspected of Congo plot shot dead in the Alps. And you get something like this. French intelligence agents charged in alleged murder plot. Not to mention, remember that Candace said that Macron's wife, Brigitte Macron, is a man. So if all this is true, it really makes you wonder if that is true as well. And once again, Candace is dropping breadcrumbs for us to pick up because she posted all this on the anniversary of JFK's assassination today, November 22nd. You can't make this shit up. Make sure you guys get into my Telegram and my YouTube, The Maverick Approach. But as always, let me know what you guys think below. And
now that's interesting. Even the numerology behind that, how they can line up the dates from previous assassinations, such as JFK and others. And see, we got to understand, when we discuss the blood sacrifice, we got to understand how real this stuff is, y'all. Now, we seeing a pattern with the right, what they call the conservative party. We're seeing a pattern where they've been pretty much broken up into fractions. There's been an internal war in MAGA and formal MAGA. These people are not playing games. And when we talk about assassination, it's not always assassinating that person head on. It's not always taking that person out. They also assassinate characters. Because when I looked all over the news, they're saying that Candace Owens is having a mental breakdown. They're just pretty much making it seem like she going bat-ish crazy. All of the strong right conservatives that got influence and got a mic, They're all making it seem like she just crashed out and she's losing her mind. Well, that's part of the assassination. See, if they can actually conspire certain things against an individual and cause the paranoia they need to cause and get that person to go public, then you can really begin to spin the narrative. Then you can really begin to spin the narrative. Hey, this person is losing their mind. You know, this person is on drugs. This is what they think. This is what they do. This is what they do. Now, of course, Candace Owens can get out, but she's going to have to turn to the eternal love of Jesus Christ. She's going to have to repent. She's going to have to denounce her beliefs, which she's apparently a Roman Catholic. She is going to have to denounce the oath she's taken. If not, I'm here to tell you, Candace Owens' life is really on the line. She's not just flipping out, losing her mind. No. When all of this first started, I was very clear that Candace Owens needed to get out. Right when Charlie Kirk got popped, Candace Owens took the opportunity to enrich herself in his assassination. That was a mistake. Because not only did she enrich herself, she continued to align herself with Turning Point, which is a burning house. She continued to align herself with Kirk's wife, which is a red flag. That was a huge mistake. Candace Owens believed that she had more friends than she really does. These people are vipers. And I knew it the moment where Charlie Kirk got popped in the neck publicly. See, she sold out. And she's in a very compromising position, but she can get out. She can get out, but she's going to have to really take heed to the message that's being put out. She's going to have to take heed. Now, she said a lot about the Macron man, lady, whatever you want to call that entity, right? And it put a target on her back. It put a target on her back. Now, I want to go to a previous Candace Owens live stream. There's some things I want to highlight here. Some things I want to highlight. Let's go.
But he's now ready to venture back into the public life. So we win some, we lose some. Welcome back to Candace. Year.
But it's this question about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You produced zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man, she's a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that
not.
when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
Where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from. And first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years.
Right.
And they teamed up with genealogists and they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous. It's awful. I can't believe
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the connection.
She's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go
I don't need
find
to,
the
because
articles
actually, as
that
you
were
know,
written
there
by
is
the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists.
I
And
know,
while
but
they
as
were
you know,
working,
Brigitte Macron is
let me
suing.
finish a statement, Pierre.
So, even here, Candace Owens, again, I want y'all to understand she's compromised and she's controlled opposition. That's for sure. You can look at the hand gestures here, and you already know what time this is. But nonetheless, Candace Owens is onto something. She's bringing out the French journalist. Better believe that she made them very much aware of her presence, and she's not lying. She's just not lying. That's what I will say. The Macrons, they lost the lawsuit for a reason. So, I say all that to say this. Candace Owens needs to get out. She needs to just back on out. Let's play a little bit more here.
Okay.
While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the secret service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones, they held them, they wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece. It was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced, that Brigitte Macron was a man for 30 years and then transitioned at the age of 30. He's trying to tell you this is crazy, this is wacky. Why don't you just go pursue a primary source?
Well, I don't need.
Yo, there's been a lot of people calling her crazy for this. And, this is what they do before they're about to delete and line somebody up. I mean, I got to admit that. And see, look, when we talk about these power structures, what happens when you speak the truth in this type of world that's just built on deception, right? Everything's built on lies. Candace Owens came out saying that they just marked her as a blood sacrifice, y'all. And whether you believe her or not, the pattern is all the same. Anytime somebody steps out of line, exposes corruption, breaks ranks with the elite, suddenly they're labeled, targeted, hunted. And that's just how the system works. And they really don't go after the wicked. They go after the ones who refuse to bow down, those who stand for truth. You automatically threaten their empire. What's wild about all this is how fast the media is trying to clown her and say that she's crazy, and everybody's dismissing her. That's what's so strange about this. How everybody's being very dismissive. Like if somebody comes out and say, listen, these people are trying to assassinate me. I got the evidence. I got all the receipts to show that the hit was paid for. Then I don't think they're just making this up. Everything in me, all the discernment I have, I do not feel like Candace Owens is making this up at all. When someone accuses the powerful of any kind of corruption, every outlet seems to move perfectly in sync to do what? Silence the narrative. How could that be journalism? That's just an echo chamber. That seems like, to me, damage control. Whether the details are right or wrong, the reaction exposes the whole entire game. Anyone who breaks the spell of political worship becomes, in their eyes, the perfect blood sacrifice. Someone who is to be made a public example just for speaking out. Joan Rivers got wiped out doing the same thing. So I think personally, my personal opinion is she should back out and disappear. Get out of the game, give her life to Christ, denounce this fake religion, this Roman Catholicism, this Satanism and paganism that she's into, and get out. That's what I believe Candace should do before it's too late, because Jesus Christ will be the only one who can save Candace Owens. Anyway, let's continue.
The primary source. It would be very easy to dispute this. All Brigitte Macron would have to do is produce a single photo of her in the first 30 years of her life, or to go on a little walk with her brother, who she alleges that she is not. She refuses to do either. She's suing people, and the one photo that they keep producing is a photo of her daughter to phone that has been photoshopped.
Please. Brigitte Macron, as you know, has a libel trial against Natasha Ray, who made the claims that the French First Lady was born a man called Jean-Michel Trogner. It's due to take place imminently, and we will get to the bottom of this. And I'll bet you, why don't we have like £100,000 bet that it establishes beyond any doubt to a charity of your choice and mine, $100,000, make it dollars, right now, that it is established, any doubt that she was born a woman. Do you accept that bet?
Make it rain, Pierre.
So it was never proven whether she is or isn't. But what we can prove is how the media is operating, how they're functioning in the midst of all of this. You got to understand, a blood sacrifice in today's world, it doesn't mean like literal violence sometimes. It can mean character assassination. It means social execution. Being dragged through the mud for daring to expose something that's in the dark. When elites feel threatened, they target your credibility, they target your platform, your livelihood. They want to drain you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. That's the new ritual. They destroy your name to keep their machine moving smoothly. And Owens, you like her or not, we can see what she's experiencing in real time. You like Candace Owens or not, in real time, we seeing that she's exposing a transgenderism agenda. And all of a sudden, she's saying, look, I got receipts that these people are trying to kill me, that they're trying to kill me. And all of the media all at once is like, oh, she's crazy. Candace Owens lost her mind. She's having a mental breakdown. No, Candace Owens is in too deep. She's playing a game that she shouldn't be playing. She's taking the oaths. And now that she's in the midst of these individuals, her life is on the line because she played a game that she could never win. Let's go.
Make it rain, okay? Because look, first and foremost, 100,000 pounds. Can we look up what that means in US dollars? Let's see what that, $136,000. I'll round it up. Let's round it up to $1 there. 136,000 US dollars are mine, Piers. I'm not gonna let you get away with this. I want my money. It's gonna be like that Family Guy scene where Stewie's like beating up Brian. I want my money. Where's my money? Well,
I don't think Candace knows how serious this is. I don't think she knows the severity of what she's putting herself into. If you notice, the moment she mentioned French leadership, the moment she called out international corruption, and boom, they start mocking. They start discrediting. They started the smear campaign. It lit up. You got to ask yourself, why do powerful individuals who got these positions, why do they panic when it's a conversation that's just too close to home? Why do they act like just questioning authority is an attack? Because this system survives off of fear. They need someone to play the role of the blood sacrifice. So the rest of the world stays what? Obedient. They want people to stay obedient and silent, because the more people who stay obedient and silent subconsciously, the more they can hide in the dark. I'm not a Candace Owens fan. I believe she's a double agent. I believe she's controlled opposition. But as a brother, as someone who doesn't want to see nothing happen to this person, I'm making videos to draw awareness that she's really in in deep trouble right now. And I don't think she's lying about these people trying to sacrifice her. But that's just my opinion. What say y'all? What say y'all?
Gentlemen, that's how it started, and this is how it's going. Check out this headline. We are trending all over France. This is huge news. The women who claimed Brigitte Macron was born a man are cleared of defamation because that's how the truth works. It's amazing that they even initially got convicted because of corruption, of defaming the French First Lady. It was this false conviction that the media then touted out as a win, saying, see, she's not born a man. But that actually wasn't what was at root of the case, as many of you guys know that have been following the series. Anyways, what has happened today is that the judges that were sitting at the Paris Appeal Court on Thursday ruled that Amandine Roy, that is the 53-year-old clairvoyant, and Natasha Ray, and she has been absolutely fantastic. She's a 49-year-old journalist, blogger, and researcher that teamed up and first and foremost put Xavier Poussard onto this story when he was having trouble even finding basic facts about Brigitte. And she said, yeah, that's because Brigitte was born Jean-Michel Tragneau. And so now the court has ruled that they had every legal right to make those allegations. More specifically, Brigitte brought the case in regards to a 4-hour YouTube video broadcast where the two of these ladies were sitting down.
Now, in the grand scheme of things, you know, one would question, well, why does this even matter? Why would it be such a big deal? Candace Owens exposing that you know, that Britt Macron may be a man. Why is it a big deal? Well, because they operate in sorcery, magic. They operate in deception. You're not supposed to know or even consider that Jennifer Aniston, Serena and Venus Williams, Michelle Obama, Courtney Love, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on, that these people are actually born men. You're not supposed to know that, because the power is in the illusion. You know, the power is in the illusion. But she's breaking some of the rules. She's breaking some of the rules. See, at the end of the day, this ain't about Candace Owens alone. This is about what happens whenever anyone, especially a believer, especially one of us, especially one of God's chosen, when any of us stand against wickedness in high places, the Most High's people have always been targeted, always been marked for standing on truth. Now, the question is, who's really pulling the strings? Because we thinking it's just the French government that's trying to do it. They can be a part of the play. They listen, they could be doing misdirection and hit her from a whole nother way. They can assassinate her character and take her influence. And silence her that way. And then get her later on in life. These people are treacherous and they're patient. You got to think about who would benefit from making an example out of her. Whether she right, wrong, mistaken, or accurate, it's obvious they always look for a blood sacrifice. But what they don't understand is that the Most High protect his chosen people, and no weapon formed against us will prosper. That's why we're able to speak truth and survive and live. But once you start getting into deep, taking the oaths, becoming part of the agenda, once you turn on your own people, listen, because Candace Owens, she turned on her own people. She sold her people out for filthy lucre. Then you leave yourself at a disadvantage. You can't unlock that divine protection.
And Brigitte is alleging that there were 18 instances of defamation. Well, the court has ruled that those 18 instances did not constitute defamation, or they were based in good faith. And like I explained throughout the series, Brigitte was never attacking the claim that she was born a man. She was being super petty and trying to get them on a technicality of defamation for misspeaking. You know, they tried this with me. Oh, you said this photo was recolorized, but it wasn't actually recolorized. And then trying to get someone into the courtroom, and then the judge says, oh yeah, it wasn't recolorized. And you go, oh, look, we won. It was defamation to suggest that this photo was recolorized when it wasn't. That was the game that they were playing so that they could give the journalists something to tout out as a win. Now they've come back and said, you know what? That's not enough. Okay. That is.
Yeah. So, this is one of those situations, man, that I just wanted to hone in on. I don't want to stream live very long on this topic. I did go live earlier. I don't want to oversaturate, but I do want to get back to work and get back to the material, the thought-provoking material, the things that you all signed up for. And there's a lot, I'm going to be putting together some more very revealing, eye-opening content. But when it comes to Candace Owens, she, hey, what say y'all? Is Candace Owens to be the next blood sacrifice? Are they trying to Charlie Kirk Candace Owens? And if they are, what that would tell you, it does not pay in the long run to be a part of the white supremacy power structure. It does not pay to align yourself up with these conservatives or Democrats. It don't pay to align yourself up with these individuals and do their bidding and do their work and be a token for these people. Because at the end, they will crucify, they will sacrifice, they will get rid of you. So it's best to just stick with your own people and insulate yourself with those who have a like mind, those who are of your own stock, when it comes to, when it comes to whatever influence you have. It's best that you teach your people and you try to awaken your people. But when you align yourself with these people and they got their hands, they got their hands as the puppet masters, when they done with you, it's over. So, prayerfully, Candace Owens get through it. Like I said, not a big fan of Candace Owens, but, I want to draw awareness to this situation, all right? But nonetheless, more material coming. Peace and blessings to everybody who has joined. I'd like to thank y'all. Y'all stay safe out there.